What's up, guys? This is Casey and welcome back to the channel. So I've gotten a few requests on talking about the things that I have done to achieve financial freedom. One of the most fundamental basic things you can do is figuring out how to reduce your expenses. As a matter of fact, I think that is the most important thing to do, irrespective of how much money you make. And the reason being is that common misconception that people have with money is that I don't have enough now, but if I had more money, I would be comfortable. And the reality is that it doesn't matter how much money you have. And I mean, whether it's you make $5,000, $10,000 a month, or whether you make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. If you have a spending habit and you don't know how much money you're saving and how much money you're spending, it doesn't matter. And so today we're going to be discussing the fundamental but super critical steps to take to get your spending under control. Now, keep in mind, this is not a video to reduce your overall experiences in life or to say that you can't spend or take vacations, but this is a video to discuss and break down how to manage your expenses, how to manage what you're making, and how to know exactly how much money you can save and how much you should be spending and how much to invest. So let's just kind of hop into this. Now, the first step you want to do is you want to figure out your total amount of expenses. Now, if you guys know my videos, you know that I try to make things very basic. I don't want to make things overly complicated because the more complicated they are, the less you're likely to do it. At least I'm that way. So the first thing that I do is I go online to my bank statements. So you want to go to like your Wells Fargo, your Chase, whoever you bank with, your SunTrust, which is Truist now. Go online and take a write-out of all of your expenses. Now, if you bank with the Wells Fargo, they have an option to where it literally breaks down your spending and based on categories, which is exactly what you're looking for, and it will break down into categories. So you go to your bank, you go to your expense column spending, and it will show you how much money you've brought in and how much money you're spending. What you want to do is you want to take a WordPad or WinWord or whatever it is you use, and you want to literally write out every single monthly expense that you have. And I'm talking about the regular recurring ones, the lights, the gas, the rents, the mortgage, the car notes, the car insurance, anything that you know that you spend on a monthly basis, recurring, the electricity, all of those expenses, take them, write them down, and put those into a bottom line number. Just a simple mathematic adding up. And then after you do that, you want to then write a separate category of expenses based on your bank statements. And those are things like how much money you spend eating out, how much money you spend on groceries, how much money do you spend with your makeup subscriptions or with your video game subscription, whatever it is that you have subscriptions of that are not necessities. And then so you want to break those up in two categories because one of those are mandatory expenses and the other ones are like discretionary expenses. And once you've done that, you want to immediately then take what you make. So if it's $3,000, $4,000 a month, $6,000, $7,000, whatever it is, put that down there, then subtract that amount, and that is what your free cash flow is. So what this does is this gives you a real world, in your face graph, right? And an observation as to everything that you're spending in the moment. So if you're like me, you have a tendency to use your card a lot. Credit card companies know and banks know that when you use a debit card or credit card, that you are likely to spend 35 to 40% more money because there's not that emotional attachment with spending cash. And so when you check your statements, you'll find out very quickly, wow, I spent an extra $30 here. Wow, man, I didn't realize I spent $37 at Starbucks last week. Or man, maybe I shouldn't have got that kebab meal when I went for lunch, because that was a $42 meal. So you'll find out very quickly what your spending habits are. So that's super important. The next thing you want to do is once you've gotten your bottom line, so you've taken what your monthly expenses are, you've taken, and that's including discretionary, you subtracted that with what your income is, right? So it's whatever your hourly rate is, just top line, bottom line, subtract, that's your free cash flow. Once you have your free cash flow number, what you want to do is you want to break that up into a weekly spending habit. So if you are not saving anything right now, it's very important that you figure out how to automatically save. One of the things that I did and what I still do is I have a separate bank account that I have automatic transfers going to without me watching it. So in other words, let's say if I make, and I'll say after, I get paid every 2 weeks, what have you, right? I will transfer 10% of my money into a separate bank account that I don't have a debit card for. So I can't see it. I don't even know it's there. It's just gone, right? So you get paid, your check goes into your checking account, you go online, you don't even know that you're missing an extra $100, $200, whatever have you, right? And the reason you do this is because it's an automatic savings. This is the number one thing that I did to save money easily without trying. It's just set up a separate account, transfer money. I cannot tell you how important that is. If you take nothing else out of this video, you do that, I promise you'll save money. Now, if you're one of those people where you're like, but hey, Casey, I don't have any free cash flow at the end of the month because my bills exceed my income. That's very common, and don't feel bad. There are still ways to save money. Now, you have to just be more diligent and more frugal with how you're spending the money, but even still, it's very important that you save. Now, understand this also. The number one rule that I take when it comes to saving money or when it comes to getting my expenses under control is pay yourself first. I cannot tell you how important that is. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care if you're a waiter, if you're a waitress. I don't care if you work at retail stores. I don't care what it is you work in, blue collar, corporate offices. It doesn't matter. Pay yourself first. And the reason being is that you have to understand that when you're trying to save and when you're trying to, accumulate savings and investments and whatnot, you're more likely to do that when you make that a priority over, spending or eating out or whatnot, because once the money is gone, it's gone. So it's best that you just get rid of it first the moment you get paid. So then that way you've gotten your discretionary funds are in front of you, but you've already allocated the money for savings. It's a game changer. So if you have less cash flow than you have expenses, what do? Well, you have to be more diligent, right? So maybe you have to say, hey, listen, I can't eat out at all. Maybe you've eaten out, 6, 7, 8, 9 times a month, right? $8, $9, $10. Well, you know what? Maybe you need to cut that down to none for the next 2 or 3 months until you can get some savings accumulated. But for most people, if you can just save 5-10% of your income, $200 a month, that's not going to break you. That is eating out 3-4 times a week, right? Happy Meal at McDonald's is $15, right? If you get the full size, super size, everything with a dessert, blah, 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 and a shake. So it's easy to save money. It's just making it a priority to do it. So we've discussed writing out your expenses. Super important. Expenses should be broken up into 2 categories. One is your mandatory expenses. The other one is your discretionary expenses, stuff that you just, have subscriptions on. Another important reason why it's so important to go to your bank statement is because if you're like me, then you have things that you've signed up for, that you got apps that you did the free trial for, and you've forgotten about. And so you look in there and you realize, oh, damn, I forgot that I signed up for this thing 3 months ago with the free trial, and they've been taking out $19.99 on my account for the past 3 months. I forgot all about that. I need to cancel it. Oh, I need to cancel that. Oh, I forgot about that. Like, I can't tell you how often I hear people say that they have signed up for things with free trials, quote unquote, and they've forgotten about it, and then they've literally been paying for things they didn't even know they were paying for. Huge deal. Now, once you guys have done all of that, another solid thing that you should do is you should call all of your creditors, meaning, your light company, your cell phone company, right? Your AT&Ts, your T-Mobiles, whoever it is that you have, and tell them, hey, listen, I need a cheaper plan. Money's tight. Even if money isn't tight, you tell them it is. Hey, it's tight. I see a special that the competitor's offering, and blah, 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 blah. Whatever it is, right? Talk to their retention department. Just tell them you're not happy with the service. Tell them, you're looking for other options, and, do they have any promotions or whatnot? 80% of the time, you will find that they have promotions. And so if you do that with your light company, you do it with your cell phone company, you do it with, you do it with pretty much, anyone that you have a monthly recurring bill with, you'll find that the majority of the time, they will reduce their expenses, your cost. Even if it's just like an application or something like that nature, or a service that you're using on your phone. A lot of the times when you sign up and you want to go to cancel that service, you'll get those, wait, don't leave right now. Let's go ahead and how about we give you a 6-month trial at a reduced rate. I actually did this with SiriusXM because I wasn't really using the service. And so what happened with SiriusXM is I was paying like, I think it was $22, $23 a month with the premier on top of the line plan. I was like, you know what? I'm not even really using it that much, so let me just call and cancel it. And they were like, hey, I tell you what, how about we give you our super premier plan, for half the price for like a year? And I was like, I don't know about that. But lo and behold, I actually ended up using it and keeping it. And actually, I feel even happier that I saved 50% off it. Then there you go. That's $12, $13 just like that. So really important to do that. So we've gone over the expenses. We've talked about your discretionary spending. We have talked about going online and making sure that you take a look at all of your expenses based on your categories and your monthly subscriptions. We've talked about deducting your automatic pay yourself first, right? So when you get paid, make sure you transfer some of that money into a separate account that you don't see or have access to, which is amazing. And one of the things that I did not discuss is how important your emotions are when it comes to money. So if you guys are like me, 99% of the time, money is a very emotional thing. It just is, right? So if you look at statistics, they show that most marriages and relationships break up over money. Money is an emotional thing. And, and there's some forms of power and there's forms of there's just all sorts of emotions when it comes to this. And so one of the reasons that I think most people have such a hard time saving is because you are there's an emotional connection with spending, right? That's where the marketing comes in. So maybe it's your makeup. Maybe you have my spouse loves makeup, and she has such a bad makeup spending habit. She's gotten a lot better with it over the past few months, but just boxes every day come to Amazon. $10, $15 here, $15 here, $23 here, and that adds up. Right? Or maybe it's eating out. Maybe when you're bored and you don't have a lot to do, what do? You want to go to get fast food. You want to go to a restaurant and sit down. You want to spend, $50-$60 there. That's actually my weakness because I love eating out. I'm a foodie. And so when I'm bored, a lot of the times, hey, let's go out and eat. Next thing you know, if you spend $300 on a week eating out, it adds up very, very fast. And so figuring out those emotional connections to this money that you spend, that's going to be a game changer. It's one of the hardest things to do, but it's a game changer. And one of the things I encourage you guys to do is that if you're going to do that, if you want to start focusing on your emotional connection to the money, is don't try to go cold turkey. If you try to go cold turkey, if I can say that right, what you'll find is that you'll fail every time. Like if you say, hey, I know I eat out a lot, I'm not going to eat out anything at all for this whole month, you're going to fail. And then if you do eat out once or twice, you're going to feel like a failure. So the best thing to do is to set realistic goals and say, hey, listen, you know what? Maybe I do buy, maybe I purchase makeup 3 times a week. Or 3 times every 2 weeks. So maybe say 6 times a month. But you know what? I'm going to make it a point to try to cut down 3 times. Just try to save an extra $30, $40. Still going to buy some makeup, but I'm not going to buy as much. Or you know what? Man, I ate out 5 times this week. Maybe I need to cut that down. Let me just try 4 this week. So if I can do it, that shouldn't be that much harder. Maybe next week, let's try to do 3 or 4. Maybe next month, try to do 3. Do it in increments. Studies show, and psychologists show that doing things in increments and small successes they significantly increase your odds of doing things tremendously well and better and improving by doing incremental goals instead of just trying to do something very massive. So that's very, very important. And then another thing that you guys also want to look into is just run a basic credit check. So I know that credit is also another very important topic, and we're going to talk about credit whole other videos breaking that down as well as the games behind that and what to do. But just do a quick credit check. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It used to cost you money back in the days, $10, $15 of credit, but not anymore. So you have Equifax, you have Experian, you have TransUnion, and a lot of times there's discrepancies on there. Now, obviously you really only need credit when it comes time to, applying for credit cards or rent or what have you. But a lot of the times, if it just comes down to wanting to remove things from your credit that aren't yours, maybe some things that you paid off that didn't fall off because the creditor never reported that you paid it off. Like that's very important because when you're applying for credit at like a cell phone company or whatnot, and if they run a credit check, a lot of the times they may be requiring deposits that they shouldn't require because they run your credit and there's something negative on it that should not be there or something that, so make sure that you run a quick credit check just so you know where you stand. Again, no, emotionally, that's a very, what's the word? I don't want to say discouraging, but that's just a very emotionally to the negative tilt side when it comes to checking these things, but it's best you just attack it head on. And so once you guys have done all of those, and if you have done those, I am so proud of you because it's a very big thing. Another thing that you want to do, and this is when we really want to start getting into cutting down your credit card expenses, right? So if you're like me, you got a lot of credit card debt. Well, I don't have a lot of credit card debt. I used to. But if you're like most people and you have tons of it, one of the things that you want to do when it comes time to paying off credit card debts tremendously, and even if it's just $2,000 or $3,000, is you want to start looking at those credit card transfer promotions. So a lot of companies like Chase or I don't know, whoever, Wells Fargo, whatever, they will offer, or Citibank, they will offer credit card transfer balances with 0% interest for like 24 months. The reason this is so important and so powerful is that if you have credit card debt and you're like, man, all I can afford are the minimum payments right now. Well, if you're making minimum payments on your credit cards because your money's tight, which is understandable, it is going to take you like 18, 19, 20 years to pay off like a $5,000 balance. Like literally, it's crazy. So if your minimum payments are, I don't know, $45 and that's what you make, it'll literally would take you like 20 years. Like it's bananas, right? But if you transfer that debt to a credit card that has 0 interest for 24 months, right? But then what you're doing is you are then every payment you're making is going right to the principal, 100% of it. So instead of $39 going toward principal and $39 going towards interest and $7 going towards principal, 100% of it is going towards principal. That is one of the best ways to pay off credit card debt. Now, a lot of the times you'll find that when you're doing that, the banks will not give you the full amount. So if you have $10,000 in credit card debt, you apply for a credit card and they'll say, hey, we'll give you $4,500. Whatever, that's fine. I'm going to break down in another video also how to save money or how to play the credit card game when it comes to paying off debt fast, because there's a whole snowball effect to it. But just on the very basics, credit card transfers are super powerful if you use them right, and then once you pay them off, you close them out. And guys, that's pretty much it. Sounds like a lot. It really isn't. Just understand that a lot of this really does come down to just being very intentful when you're doing this. Like, you have to get up and you have to say, you know what, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to log into my bank accounts and I need to see how much money I've been effing off, right? I need to see it, right? It's very important to not judge yourself. It's very important to not be hard on yourself. It's important to know that we're all on this financial journey and we're all trying to figure it out. No one has all the answers, right? But it's important that as we, find answers or we find solutions, that we help and we share with each other, because that's how we all get better together. And so, you go to your sites, you log into your accounts, and just take a look and just deal with the emotional, even if it's embarrassing, whatever it is, log into it, take a look at it, because that is the first step and it's the biggest step. And guys, if you are following these steps, or if you do go online and you do these, let me know how that feels. And the reason I say feels is because I think that money as a whole is 90-95% emotional. Because particularly when you don't have a lot of it, right? Because a lot of our spending is based on emotion. And so when you log into your accounts, you're going to see the emotional spending aspect. Oh man, I forgot to spend that. Oh, you had a good time in Cabos. Oh yeah, I did take that vacation. I forgot to spend that much money last month. And so when you log into it and you start to break down you start to break down how much you spend in your categories, and you start seeing where you can improve yourself. Let me know how that feels in the comments below. I want to know, do you guys feel as though that, man, I'm moving in the right direction, and wow, this really can help me, and now I have a better idea as to what I can do to try to save some money moving forward on an incremental basis. And that's pretty much it, guys. So if you found this video beneficial, just leave me a comment. Leave me a like if you like. It really helps out tremendously if I know you guys are listening and you're watching, and even more importantly, that the content helps, right? So again, I'm never going to make a video that I personally don't believe in myself. I'm not going to make a video that I don't think provides actual quality content. That's one of the reasons why I haven't actually made a video recently. Is just because I haven't really, quite frankly, wanted to make a lot of content on things that I thought were very, very beneficial. But this is something that I think is super, super critical. There are videos online that talk about this stuff, but not quite in this manner. So hopefully you guys found this very valuable. And if you did, let me know. So obviously, if you don't know already, this is a financial education channel. We talk about saving money. We talk about investing. We talk about real estate. If you guys know my other videos, I am a real estate investor. And, I just want to be able to provide my financial insight to help out other people who are also on their financial journey of freedom. So make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys hit the notification bell for my future videos. And I look forward to talking with you later. Thanks for watching. Take care.